Good day and welcome, Matthew here again. We're at the Manufacturers Cup at Dragons Trail Seaside with Group 3. Back from our small time off, and right off the bat we're going to attack 6th place and try to get past them into the chicane. Now my strategy for this race was to save fuel and not do any stops at all. So for those that don't know, this race has very high fuel wear. This combination had very high fuel wear. So the strategy was generally run racing mediums, pit on lap 5, and then blast it to the end. You'd save a bit of fuel early on, and then you'd try to go flat out near the end. But I had a practice race with Saika 159, who's a very quick Hong Kong driver, very fast, one of the fastest in the world, and he did a no stop in a Subaru and blitzed me by 10 seconds, 12 seconds, something like that. And so that inspired me to do a no-stop this race. As you can see, Wardon's going past me in the Supra. I wasn't too concerned. The pace he had down that straight, I was like, he's not saving fuel. Don't fight him. There's no point in fighting when you're fuel saving. You're just going to cost yourself more time. The idea is just to let the fast guys go past. Bit of a bump on the exit there. That was such a pain of a chicane. Let the fast guys go past with as little pain to your lap time as possible, because you're just looking for a fast average lap throughout the race. You're not looking for really fast laps early on to taper off. You just want to be hitting your average lap, a good average lap speed, maintaining your fuel and getting to the end. And the pit stops would drop people that far back that in theory they couldn't catch back up. So because it was so heavy on the fuel usage, the time spent in the pits was so much longer because you had to fill up so much. The Ferrari has always been excellent on fuel. So when I saw the Subaru outperform me without, doing 1 minute 40 laps, where the fast guys are doing sort of 1:37s, I just figured, okay, if he can do it in Subaru, I can do it in the Ferrari. I had, I think, 5 laps practice to see if the theory would work, and the fuel gauge was showing me that yes, I can make it to the end of 9 laps with one tank. So I thought I'd give it a go. Qualified, where did I qualify? 7th, which surprised me. I had a absolutely horrid qualifying session. I hit the chicane every lap for 5 laps in a row, I think, or 4 laps in a row, until the last lap, my flying lap, I nailed the chicane, put it into 7th with a 37.4, I think, and that just set me up for the race. I thought I was the first of the no-stoppers. Schnick, the way I got past Schnick straight away, who's in the Peugeot just behind, I thought, okay, so he's going to try to go to the end, or he's saving a lot of fuel, because I was saving fuel and going past him, so things were looking up. Monkey come from about 11th or something like that to go past me there. Once again, he was catching me hand over fist down the straight in the Beetle, so I let him go past into that hairpin. Could have made it a bit easier, could have lifted off a bit earlier just to let him go past, and I sat behind him. I actually turned up the fuel mixture to about 6, so I didn't go back past him and just save a bit more fuel. I didn't need to, but I thought if I had some fuel in hand at the end of the race, then if somebody fast was coming up behind me in the later stages, I could use a bit more fuel and get a bit more speed out of it. So that was the goal at this stage, was to, if I was in somebody's draft, save a bit more fuel, otherwise just hit my average lap time, 1:39s, 1:40s in the later stages. That was the target. So this is lap 4. I'm currently about 6 or 7 seconds behind the leader, which was quite surprising at this stage, but this will just show you how I was fuel saving. I was using fuel mix 1 the entire way, which a lot of cars could not do. And so it was really just short shifting. You see the rev shift of the bar just comes on. I could shift before then to save more fuel, but the Ferrari could get away with a little bit of it coming up. And I would coast and brake into corners. So I was lifting off earlier than I needed to, and then just easing on the brakes and just easing into the corners to slow the car down. And that allowed the Ferrari to run fuel map 1, so it was fast down the straights, which is very important around Dragons Trail, especially being able to pull out of corners really hard and get down the straights as fast as you can, while still managing to save as much fuel as I could at the same time. So you can see 7th caught up to 6th quite quickly. Those two cars I was not expecting to see. I was expecting to see pit on lap 5, so I wasn't too concerned, and being only a couple of seconds behind, maybe a second, I thought I was in quite a good position. That chicane was deadly just about every time. Didn't get that one right then. The car, if you don't hit the chicane right, the car bounces quite harshly, and it can be a bit of a lottery if it's going to throw you into the wall or not. I only hit the wall on lap 1 on the exit, and it was only just a slight graze. It cost me a few tenths, but nothing major. Aside from that, I was pretty good through the chicane, and that might have been my other worst attempt. So I just thought I'd put on camera for you all, just to, you know, show you that I am human. I am human. Who am I kidding? I don't win every race. Anyway, things are looking good. On to lap 5, and it was just going to be a matter of seeing who was going to pit at the end of this lap and who wasn't. So, end of lap 5, and a whole lot of action happens. Certainly exciting for me, probably not so much for you guys watching, because it just means 4 cars ahead of me peel off into the pits. Wardon surprised me. I thought he was definitely going to pit at his pace, just the pace that he went past me early on. But so it surprised me that he did another lap. I was like, is he really saving that much fuel? He started slowing down, and I was catching him, so I thought, okay, 3rd's on. This is pretty exciting. For Ferrari to qualify 7th, it's never been this competitive this season. But to qualify 7th and to be sitting in 3rd, and you can see on the track map the gap to the guys that pitted. I was like, this is looking promising at this stage. I figured Schnick and Bass were definitely not pitting, and I was 2 seconds ahead of Schnick, so I was getting kind of hopeful at this stage. Heading on to the last lap, Makosi out in front. He was about 5 seconds before the pit stops happened, and he's just remained about 5 seconds ahead. Sidog, who was on his tail the entire race. The previous lap I'd gained nearly 2 seconds. He was about 4 seconds ahead at the end of lap 7. He was 2 seconds ahead going into lap 9, and I figured he was in trouble. He just must have been on fuel map 6. In fact, he was on fuel map 6, so he was horrendously slow down the straights. Wardons, who was just ahead of me early, he did pit on the end of lap 6, so he went 1 lap early, 1 lap longer, I mean. And Schnick was still 2 seconds behind. And the radar's catching Sidog. I was like, surely not. Surely not, I'm gonna take second from him. But you can see how slow he is over the crest and down the hill. I figured I'd get a good drive out of here, I'm gonna be past him. In fact, I could get a good drive just about out of anywhere and I was gonna go past him. I went left to go around him because I thought he was going to stay to the right. At that stage, I was going to stay to the right, and it looked like he was carrying on right. So I went left at the same time he did, and he ended up blocking me. It wasn't deliberate, just a bit of miscommunication. And then I was not going to go past him through here. Going side by side, like going single file through the chicane is deadly most of the time, let alone trying to go through it side by side. So I let him have it, and I just have him down the straight. Schnick was coming up fast because I had to go so slow behind Sidog, but Schnick pulls right up behind me. I knew I was still quite tight on fuel because I'd used a little bit more, so I just had to cruise on in there and just make it across the line. Across the line with 0%. I think I hit 0% right about here, and I take second place. So that was it. Not a race full of action. I got a good pass early on Schnick. I let the other guys pass. It wasn't a lot of hard battling, but that was the strategy I was rolling with. And incredibly, I got second place. I could not believe it. Quite a crazy night. I wanted the result in Nations. I got an insane result in Manufacturers that I never expected. And that's put Ferrari, I think, into 4th overall in the Oceania region, because it's only counting, you know, 1 set of points out of 4 races so far. So an incredible result for Ferrari, my best result ever in the car. Just could not be happy with how that turned out, especially going into it, I didn't think I was anywhere. It just came down to picking the right strategy and sticking with it, and having a car that could do it. Just the car is so good on fuel. It allowed me to run that fast. I couldn't believe Mikosi did first place in a Mercedes on fuel saving, no stop as well. That's kind of nuts to think he did that. I haven't actually driven the Mercedes, so I don't know how good it is on fuel, but obviously he manages it very well. But to come home with second in a Ferrari, couldn't be happy with that. Couldn't be happier. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming along. And looking forward to the next Manufacturers Cup race. It'll be in the Group 4 Ferrari. Until then, bye-bye.